Welcome everyone. Today we're diving into one of the most critical steps in your real estate investing journey, market research. So whether you're looking to start out or looking to scale your short-term or mid-term rental portfolio, mastering market research can either make or break your investment strategy. So understand what that looks like is key. I have got you completely covered with my beginner's guide to understanding your market like a pro. So why does market research matter? So have you ever wondered why some Airbnbs are making a whole lot of money and thriving while others are struggling? I'm sure you've seen it on all of the platforms. Some are thriving and some are completely going down the tubes. Well, it all comes down to knowing your market. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to find the right location, how to analyze the competition, how to pinpoint what you will make with your property. And it's all driven by data tools. You got to use data. Data's not emotional, right? Data is a whole vibe. So I want to make sure that you have one of my favorite tools at your fingertips to make it happen, okay? So the tool we're focusing on today is my absolute go-to for market research. It is called AirDNA, airdna.co. All right, so welcome back everyone to another episode of our Luxury Rental Doctor Show. I'm Dr. Rachel, your go-to healthcare professional turned real estate investor. We are operating out of Georgia, Florida, Arizona, Texas, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania. So some of you might have spotted one of our luxury midterm rentals featured on Netflix or seen me on platforms like Bigger Pockets, the Better Life podcast. That's a recent. Get really excited about that, or Forbes. But what really lights me up and what really drives me is sharing this valuable information with our community, especially our hardworking women in medicine who are juggling multiple jobs, striving to make ends meet, and realizing, you know what? There's got to be a better way. Okay. So just so you know, when I first started out, I was all over the place trying to figure out what a market can make. Okay. So a lot of guesswork went into it. I was trolling on Zillow to the wee hours of the night. I was relying on the peanut gallery. I was just talking to as many people as I needed to figure out, well, how much can this property make in this particular market? But at the end of the day, it was a lot of trial and error until I discovered AirDNA, and that changed the game for me. It took me from like guessing, okay, I guess I can make this amount, right? And living in analysis paralysis. It took me from guessing to knowing. Okay, so once you know, that's your new information, right? And all I need to know is about 52% of what it takes in order for me to make that decision. And so AirDNA just completely answers and fills in the gap there, okay? Now, when it comes to market analysis, there are a lot of tools out there. There's Mash Advisor, there's Arabidics, there's a few, and I know they're going to come for me because whenever I start talking about data analysis, they actually come back and they have a lot of questions for me. But nevertheless, AirDNA is my go-to. They have a wealth of information that dates back 5-6 years or so. So it's a treasure trove of information, and they're always optimizing and updating their platform and making it even more and more user-friendly. At the end of the day, if a platform is just too difficult to use, then the likelihood that I'm going to continue to use that platform is down to nothing, right? So what I like about AirDNA is that tool, it breaks down metrics like your average daily rate, your occupancy rate, your revenue potential. It breaks it down by the city level. It breaks it down by the neighborhood level, down to the parcel level, okay? From zip code to city to neighborhood, down to parcel. It's absolutely amazing. I feel like it's kind of like having a crystal ball for real estate investing, okay? So now I would love for you to feel free to start dropping in your questions. If you actually have an address you want me to evaluate, we can do that right now. For those of you who are listening on the podcast platforms, you'll definitely want to hop over to our YouTube channel when you get a sec, because we're about to dive into demo mode. I'm going to walk you through AirDNA revenue calculator step by step, and we'll see how far we can go, because I want to make sure that I get really granular and show you how I am using the tool specifically and how I think you need to be using the tool to make smarter investing decisions, okay? So if you're listening, again, do not miss out. When you get a sec, head over to YouTube and follow along, okay? So let's jump right in. I'm gonna share my screens in a moment. I feel like we know what we're doing, right? I feel like we sometimes know what we're doing, sometimes we don't. And yeah, we'll edit this part out where I'm like, what do we do to share screens? We'll get there. But here's what I want you to know. I want to preface it with this. So when it comes to AirDNA, I want you to know that there's a free version where you can get some general insights. You can get some free insights, but then there's a premium data level. Okay, now the premium level is a monthly subscription. Once I am ready to just put some skin in the game and dive deeper, that's what I use. It is a bit more pricey, and it's all of the members inside of our mastermind. That is what I require. That is what I recommend. That is what they have access to. But you can get a lot of insights with the free level as well, but it's preliminary insights. Okay, so I do recommend starting out with the revenue calculator tool, and I'll share with you what that looks like in a moment. And that will help you out if you're just curious about, okay, I wonder what this property will make in this particular market. It's a high level overview, but note that they do their best to kind of get some comps together to give you an estimate, but we got to get even more granular down to the specifics, the amenities, all the things. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. All right, so I want to keep it light, guys. I want to keep it easy. I want you to shake off any type of anxiety that you have about this market analysis. Okay, so the first step is to arm yourself with an address of a market that you're interested in. So you have a property address, you found it on Zillow, you found it on the MLS, your cousin sent it to you, your realtor sent it to you, right? So arm yourself with an address of a property that you're interested in. Well, I went on Zillow earlier today and I found this particular address. I'm going to share it with you right now. Okay, so I found this address. Okay, this looks kind of cute, right? I like the little wooden beams and all that. So I'm going to grab this particular address for this 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom property, and I'm going to drop it into the search on airdna.co. Okay, so I'm dropping it there. Once I've dropped it in there, now you see I have a couple drop downs. I'm going to select this particular property here. And let's see what we get. Can we have a looky-loo and see what we get? Let's have a look. All right, so I put in the address in this particular market, and already I have some information, right? What is the information that I have? First and foremost, I've got the potential earnings of the property. But before we take that information as gospel, I want you to make a few adjustments, okay? Adjustment number 1, I want you to confirm that this is actually the bedroom count of the property. You have no idea how many times the bedroom count is different than what's actually going on with the property, whether it was newly renovated and so on and so forth, okay? And then we have the bathroom count. So you want to update that as well. And I'm looking on the listing on here. Yep, it's a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom. Okay, it's a three bathrooms and a half. So it's really a 3.5 bath. So we're going to go ahead and make that update accordingly. And then the guest count. Now, my rule of thumb is the following. I like to go with 3 to 4 guests per bathroom. So technically, since there are 4 bathrooms, so 3 guests would be 3 times 4 would be about 12, right? 12 to 16. So we can go to the 12. Since it's a 5-bedroom, we could probably squeak in 12 individuals, and then feel free to hit update. All right. Once I've updated, I'm looking for a few components. Okay. The first and the most important component is the occupancy rate. Occupancy rate is absolute key. If a market has an occupancy rate of less than 50%, I'm really not interested in that particular market. Okay. Occupancy rate, I want it to be 50% or higher. If it's in the low 40s, I'm not interested. If it's like 49%, I may be able to squeak myself in, but you want to be investing in a market where there is a demand, where people are actually coming to said market. Really, really, really important, okay? All right, so occupancy rate of 50%, I like that a lot. Revenue potential of 86,600. That's nice, right? That's nice, but I'm going to take that with a grain of salt because I want to go in deeper. But already I want to have a conversation about this property. Already I'm very interested in this property because for a purchase price of 499,000 and you're telling me that I can generate a revenue potential of 86,000, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, right? That is not bad at all. As a matter of fact, I would like to dive in deeper to make sure that this particular property has what it takes to bring in those numbers, and then I would put in an offer to this particular property. So once we scroll down a little bit, you get to see what are some of the comps that have been identified for this particular property. So we're seeing a few comps down here. We're seeing what they're generating. We're seeing, a lot of sizzle features. Look at these pools. These pools are like like look at this situation. Excuse me. So this one is like in the 140s, okay? So you can already see that the property that we're looking at will not be generating the 140s because this property is far superior to that property that's currently on the market right now. Okay, so that's just an example. And guys, again, you take this initial step very seriously. You want to understand, well, what are the regulations in this market? So I would dive in deeper. So from here, I want to dive in deeper. I want to assess, well, is this 86,000 really a reasonable amount of revenue? Is that true or is it false, right? And so I have trust issues. So the next step that I would actually look to evaluate is I would go a little bit deeper. Now, again, like I said, what we have inside of our community is more of an enterprise level of AirDNA. It's a deeper dive of AirDNA. So I'm going to enter in that same market, the same sub-market, okay, in San Antonio. So there's 301. You remember we saw this Cactus Club one. That was one of the comps. This was not a comp. I mean, these are like Lagoon. I don't know why this was listed as a comp. It sure isn't, right? This is like extra. We didn't see this one either. So we would want to see properties that are as similar to our property as possible. And so our property that we're looking at here does not have a pool, but based on what I'm seeing with the top performing properties, that might be a point of contention, right? It might be a situation where we're like, I don't know, if it's going to meet the demand for this particular market. So this property looks like some work has been done. It's pretty cute. It's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. But let's dive a little bit deeper. So this is a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 3,000 square foot. Let's take a look. So filters are your friends. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want to make sure you guys can see the filters. Okay. Filters are your friends. And so I'm going to go into the listings filter. And from there, I'm going to select, accommodate. I usually don't mess with that too much. I want to select my bedroom count. My bathroom count, I kind of leave it alone unless I have, 20,000 STR listings, and I'm trying to filter it down as granular as possible. So entire place, house, boom, there you go. Okay, I'm down to 27 listings. All right, so there are 27 listings. And what I want to know is whether or not the property that I'm looking at is inferior or superior to the properties that are listed here that are generating these big bucks. Okay, so the next thing that I like to do is I like to go on over and exporting this as a spreadsheet. I can process information a little bit better on a spreadsheet. Not a little bit better. I'm going to say a whole lot better on a spreadsheet than just looking at tiles of photos. Okay. So let's look, we have how many? We have 28 listings. They're all 5-bedroom properties. And let me zoom in a bit. They're all 5-bedroom properties. Some of them have pools, some of them do not. And so you want to take that into consideration, right? However, you have properties that are generating 200,000, properties that are generating 194, and then the next tranche of properties are in like the 100, low 100s, And then you've got some in the 90s, 80s, and so on and so forth. So we want to learn a little bit more about the properties that are available and see whether or not ours are superior to those properties or whether or not ours are inferior to those properties. So here's the actual revenue. So this market makes anywhere from $800 to $204, okay? And so we want to identify again, are these properties better than our property that we're looking to purchase, or are they worse than our property, or are they kind of like the same, right? Are they about the same? And so guys, start asking your questions right now. This is like mastermind level conversations that we have inside of our community, but I wanted to bring this to all of you because this is the year. You've got 60% bonus depreciation. You got to make up your mind, and you have to launch a property sooner than later. So I want to make sure that you are fully equipped. Okay. All right. So this first property, the Spanish Hacienda, like I'm not even going to waste my time opening it. It just looks so much more luxurious than the subject property. So does this one. This Cactus Club, all I had to do was head over, so these top three look superior, right? I'm going to just place that there S tier, like superior to our property. And then we head over to this property here. So as long as there's a pool, it's going to be difficult to compete if I don't have a pool, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select that it has a pool. You see this one says pool. Okay, this one, Casa Verde. All right, Casa Verde looks like it might be one of the first ones that we could use to assess our property. So let's see whether or not it has a pool. Okay. Oh, boom. Casa Verde has a pool. So they zigged when everyone was zagging, right? So everyone has the pool photo first, except for this guy here. However, Casa Verde said, well, everyone's got a pool photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you something else. So pool, and I'm going to go NA. It's got a verbal listing only. I don't trust the verbal listing numbers. Okay, so let's have a look at this one here. Let's see how we're looking with the pool situation. We're not going to get hoodwinked again. Okay. All right, I don't think this one has a pool. Let's have a look. Okay, so this one's not available. This one has been, you see how I just popped it open and it's no longer on AirDNA, no known drug allergies, so no longer listed. That means the owner took the property down. Okay, so let's keep going. So Modern Oasis sounds like it would have a pool. Okay, actually, nope, this one here. Modern Oasis is here. And this is Casa Verde. That one's got the pool already. And then, oh, look, Casa Verde has two listings. It's got AirDNA and it's got a verbal listing, and it did not sync the two. So hang on. And guys, feel free to ask your questions. I told you this was going to get really, really granular, right? But I want to make sure that you have what you need. So this one has a pool. So this is a little bit, you can see that in the title. So we can just keep going. So this one has a pool there in the title. Okay, Triple Crown. So what does Triple Crown have? Triple Crown. So listen, so what this indicates to me, okay, this one does not have a pool, but look what it's got going on. Seriously? Okay, it has a hot tub. So it has a situation, right? So they're like, okay, we don't have a pool, but we decided we're going to do something, right? And the listing has been taken down. Yeah, the listing has been taken down. Okay, so that's two listings taken down in this market. So my question would be, is there a regulatory constraint that has come into the picture that has caused this, right? All right, so Marymount with outdoor living. Let's see. Okay, this has a Mac Daddy pool. Okay, so all of this, so this these properties here, that's why you got to go a little bit more granular, because what AirDNA does a good job of, it's going to estimate and summarize and give us the average of what the properties are going to generate in that market, based on several components: bedroom count, bathroom count, amenitization, square footage, thereabouts, and give you some comps. And it arrived at this property can generate $86,000, but I don't believe it can. I believe it's going to generate less than 58,000. Now, if there was one thing that was changed, if I were to find a property in the same market that has a pool, okay, so right, all hope isn't lost. I would go back and I would look for a property specifically in this market that has a pool. Then I know I could drive my revenue to 86 upwards of 115K, depending on what that pool and that outdoor vibe look like. Okay, so that is how we're able to evaluate properties and really dive into the numbers in a way that is meaningful, and it allows us to make some, really serious decisions, right, with whether or not the property we're looking at is going to make a viable short-term or midterm rental. Okay, so again, you want to pay attention to the types of properties that are comparable, whether they're superior or whether they're inferior. You want to check out the amenities that the properties are offering. You want to look for properties with pools, if that is the vibe that's in that community, especially if the listing that you're looking at from Zillow, if the listing has a pool, you want to go in that direction. If you notice that one of the attributes for the top performing properties has a pool, well, that should be part of your buy box. You want to create a buy box for your realtor, and you want to let them know, hey, I actually need a property with a pool so that I can create this outdoor vibe, because my property that I'm looking at there on Zillow didn't have a pool. Well, you got to really use the tool to see that, okay, the market as a whole for this bedroom count is making around 86,000. But the fact that mine doesn't have a pool, I'm going to be making less than $55,000. Okay. And we could have gone even more granular to get it down to the penny, whether it's 52,000, 47,000. I'm not going to like bullet you to death, but I wanted to make sure that you were aware of what's possible. Okay. All right. So again, I use AirDNA primarily. I go into the actual Airbnb listing as well. I'll show you some of the things that I'm looking at in the listing to ensure that I'm actually making the right decision in my assumptions. Okay, so the way that we're cleaning up the data, and this is thanks to the AirDNA data guy, my buddy John Bianchi. He's the one who coined the the reviews strategy. So you want to identify whether or not there are reviews showing up month after month after month. That is an indicator that indicates to you that, oh, you know what, this is a property that guests are coming to month after month after month. So for instance, we're in September, so there are reviews in August, reviews in July, reviews in June, reviews in May, April, March, January, as you can see there, December, November, October, September, August, July. Okay, so we're already 12 months in reverse chronological order, right? We're already 12 months in, right? And so what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that, you know what? The revenue that's been projected for this property, I can attest that this is actually pretty accurate. This is 90%, 95% accurate. Okay. So that's another step. A lot of people say, well, you know what? I don't like using AirDNA because it's not accurate. Well, that's not necessarily true. You just have to take some action steps to make sure that you are cleaning up any bad data, removing any bad data. So the opposite or juxtaposition would be like if I came in here and I opened up the reviews, there were only 3 reviews, If there were 3 reviews and AirDNA is telling me, oh, I believe the property would make $98,000, but there were only 3 reviews, well, it's going to be really hard to trust that information, because it's like, well, how did you come about that information? How did you arrive at that? I don't think you were able to view and identify $98,000 worth of payouts to make that make sense, right? Yeah. So really important to take a look at. Okay. All right. So I am getting a question. Could you drop the sheet in there, please, if possible? And so let me take a look at that question real quick. Or if you just want to drop the question in here, that'd be great. I've got 18 things going on. So if you want to drop the question in the chat, I can see the chat, but I can't see much more. And I don't want to open up another sheet and just lose where I'm at. So, all right. So question that I got was around the reviews that I was counting. Okay. So let me go in and I'm going to show you an example. Okay. So who asked that question, I wonder? Hey, Mama Kraus. Okay, Sandra, I see you, boo. It's good to see you, friend. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen, Sandra. I'm looking at the guest reviews from on Airbnb. So if I am able to identify a review month after month after month in reverse chronological order, it gives me the confidence that the data that I'm looking at is pretty accurate. Okay. One of the biggest complaints that I get is, oh, AirDNA data isn't accurate. Well, it is if you know how to use it correctly. And so if I see 3 guest reviews over the last 12 months or over the last 5 years, and AirDNA is telling me that, you know what, this property can generate $98,000 worth of revenue, well, I'm going to feel a little bit skittish about that information. So right now we're in the month of September. And for those of you who are listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube video at a later date, I want to see a guest review in September. I want to see it in August, July. I want to see the reviews reflected. And what it tells me is that there's been traffic coming to this particular property, and that I could really lean in and I could really trust that the AirDNA data, the revenue projection information is actually true. Okay. So I'm going to do a demonstration of this one more time, and hopefully you find this to be helpful. And if this is boring you guys to tears, bear with me, my friends. All right, so here we go. So there was reviews a few nights ago, and this was from Charles. There were reviews on, let's see, 3 weeks ago in August, reviews in July, review in June. I want to see May. There's May. You see May right there. I want to see April. There's April. Okay, I want to see March. There's March. All right, February. I want to see January. There's January. There's December. There's November. There's October. Boom, right? And then September. So there are reviews month after month after month. And so what that tells me is that, yes, I am confident that this property actually has the potential to make $108,000. However, they did collect $101,000. Okay. And so my confidence level is at like a 97% confidence levels, because I've got trust issues. Okay, but that's enough information. As long as my confidence level is in the high 70s, right? I only need 51% confidence to know what kind of action I need to take. Some of you guys are sitting here and you need to be 100% sure. Like, you can have all the data in the world and you need to be 100% sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Okay, some of you who are attorneys inside of my community, I already know about you. But honestly, when it comes to real estate investing, as long as I'm 51% sure, and at the end of the day, it means as long as I'm sure I can make my money back, whatever I'm putting in, can I make it back? Can I make it back? That is the question, right? I don't have to be 100% sure, but with the information that I'm given, right? As the market shift, I know how to pivot. I know how to mitigate risk. I know how to adapt. I'm ready. I'm using the midterm rental strategy, the short-term rental strategy. I'm evaluating all of my exit strategies. All I need is to be 51% sure. But right here, I'm 97% sure this property made 101,000 and it has the potential of making 108,000, hands down. That is my level of certainty. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know, team, if there are any additional questions that are popping up. Like I said, I'm not going to open any other, I'm not going to open any other tabs because I'm already nervous because a lot of things are happening. Too many things are happening. Hopefully those of you who are in the Facebook group, you're able to jump into the YouTube channel to look at my screen. For whatever reason, Facebook is not allowing me to share my screen, which kind of stinks, but yeah, we'll have to figure out that mechanism later on. Okay. All right. So guys, dive in. I want to make sure that you are fully aware and you are taking advantage of the tools at your fingertips. Really, really important. So I would love to take a pause and get some questions going. What other questions do you have? And Marie, I'm so thrilled for you, my friend. I'm so thrilled that you are about to close on your property. So good. So good, so good. And I love the way you popped up on my screen. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, but I'm loving every moment of it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Yeah. So keep the questions coming, guys. If I can't get them to tonight, I have a physicians roundtable that I'm going to be attending in a little bit. So if I can't get them tonight, no worries. I will definitely connect and reach out to you all. Okay, but I just wanted to come in here again and share with you what it looks like when you're browsing for your next property, when you're shopping for your next property. A lot of the members in our community right now, they are shopping for their next property. Okay, so whether it's your first one or your next one, once you dive into the data, you saw what I did. It was a few clicks. It was not a ton of, spreadsheets. It was not a ton of evaluation, right? So the first step was to actually find out what the property could make potentially in that particular market, right? All right. So the goal really was to find out how much a property can make in that particular market. That is the first step. Now, the second step, and we're going to have part 2 and part 3 of the training. The second step is to really dive in and identify, well, how much will it cost me to get started? And what are the ongoing costs that I need to be mindful of? Okay, so that is part of our underwriting. We're going to do underwriting training as well. So have no fear. I'm going to see. So part two, okay, it says part 2, we're going to actually dive deeper a little bit more into the I call it my PACU methodology, where we're evaluating the proximity, the amenities, the quality, and the comps. Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit more so that you could have a clear definition of what it looks like when a property is superior to yours versus inferior to yours. And I'm looking for our agenda. And part 3 is going to be underwriting. Underwriting. And I'm going to share with you the calculator that I use to go ahead and find out what the costs are and to subtract the costs from the revenue and the revenue potential for our market. Okay, so keep that in mind, guys. We have a 3-part training ahead for you. So today's part 1. Hopefully it kind of opened your eyes as to what's possible and open your eyes as to what it would take to evaluate the data. From there, we're going to talk about like getting really zoomed in on the comps, the proximity, the amenities, the quality of the property. This is what will drive the revenue. And last but not least, underwriting. Okay. All right. So my friends, before we wrap up, this is your final opportunity. Okay, here we go. We've got a question. Okay. From Untangled. Hi, Untangled. As market research goes, do you prefer properties off highways for easy access? Okay, so that's a really good question. I really like that question. I don't have a preference for or against properties off highways. I would say personally, probably not, because we cater to I would say families who are displaced from their homes due to fire or water pipe that burst, either natural or um, what do you call it, natural or accidental disasters. And typically those properties are near like good schools. They're a little bit more in the suburban markets if we are looking at our midterm rental strategies. However, for short-term rental strategies, we're looking at touristic destinations. Okay, so if a property is within 30 minutes from any of these specified industries, I think they will make a great short or midterm rental or hybrid properties. An airport, a university, a hotel, a hospital, or a specified industry. Okay, and the specified industry could be like a Tesla plant or the film industry or something along those lines, or a state capital, something along those lines. So as long as it's 30 minutes away from any one of those, it will make a great short or midterm rental. So I don't necessarily leverage highways at all. I know for me personally, I would probably avoid that. I would probably avoid that. Okay, I'm getting another question. Dr. Bates says, would a hot tub help boost the missing pool? That's a great question. The hot tub may help a little bit, but a pool is a pool is a pool, right? Especially when you're in the hot Texas sun or in the hot Florida sun. I was evaluating a few properties inside of our mastermind earlier in Kissimmee. And so there's something about a swimming pool versus a hot tub that is going to extend the seasonality of the property. So, for example, if you have a heated pool, that's even better in Arizona. Those properties with a heated pool, because it does get a little chilly some portions of the year, those properties are getting booked year round. Versus the properties that do not have a heated pool, they're going to battle against seasonality, where some portions of the year they're not going to get those bookings. So really, really good question. Thank you, Dr. Bates. Hopefully that helps. All right. Any final questions? Okay. So for those of you who are looking to get started, guys, I actually created a tool called 75 Gems. If you go to 75gems.com, those are some of the cities that I've been looking at for 2024. Feel free to take a moment, grab that resource. It's my top 75 cities. And I try to spread the wealth across a number of states just to get the wheels going, right? But at the end of the day, you got to get down to the property level to know specifically what your property would make. Because again, it's an average, right? So some properties will overshoot that number and some properties will undershoot that number. Okay, so go to 75gems.com. I want to get the wheels turning. There's a training associated with that. Oh, I got another one. So, Everything Classy, great question. Everything Classy is asking, do you mentor anyone other than those in the medical field? We do, Everything Classy. So I would love for you to go to shorttermgems.com/book, shortgems.com/book. And I want to know a little bit about your situation because we're very much personalized and we want to make sure that we can help you and that we are the right resource for you. So I would love to have a conversation. Our community has a variety of professionals. I speak to the medical professional because that's where I come from, but a lot of different professionals gravitate towards me as well, whether it's attorneys, engineers. We have all kinds of folks inside of our mastermind that are coming together. They're the brain trust. They're putting they're putting in the work. They're supporting each other inside of the mastermind. So I would love for you to get on a call with us and see how we can help. If you're on social media, DM me. I know sometimes it's weird on YouTube, so DM me on social media and I'll get you the help that you need, okay? All right, so keep dropping the questions in, guys, in the chat. If you're watching the replay, I'm more than happy to circle back and follow up with each and every one of you. But again, 75gems.com. That's 75gems.com. You'll get this amazing resource plus a free training on what I'm looking at in a market. Again, there's small markets, medium markets, large markets. I go through that whole training with you. It's absolutely awesome. It's all yours and it's for free. So check that out when you get a chance. And also, for those of you who are already members inside of our community, I want you to know that we have a live in-person implementation session coming up in the Atlanta market. It's like a half-day training on Sunday, October the 16th. Would love to see you there. Stay tuned. We're going to have an open house to chat a little bit more about that. But my team reminded me, told me, you know what, don't forget to let everyone know about the live implementation in-person session. So that's going to be only 30 people coming together. And the goal is you bring your laptops and let's get the work done in the room, right? So you've already gone through the modules, you've done all that good stuff, right? So where are you now and where are you trying to go, right? And so I want all of our members to show up in the room, and I want to be there to support you every step of the way, okay? So keep your eyes peeled, reach out to us, make sure that you attend that open house so we can chat a little bit more about what that is looking like, all right? Okay, guys, so before we wrap up, I want to leave you with just one thing, guys. You have taken the time out of your busy schedule to show up tonight, to invest in your future, and that is something to absolutely be proud of. When it comes to real estate investing, of course it feels overwhelming, especially when you're just getting started and you are exploring new strategies. But remember, here's what I want you to remember. Every expert was once a beginner. Okay, so you've got the tools, and the tools that I use, I'm sharing them with you. You've got the tools, you've got the community, you've got the knowledge, you've got the support. Do not let fear hold you back, okay? This market is full of opportunities. I'm sure where you saw the 86,000, you're like, wait a minute, that's nice, right? Hopefully, right? You thought that was nice. We saw properties where there were 100, 115, 110, right? So yeah, that's nice. So how do we recreate that? We actually closed on the property in our community 2 months ago inside of our mastermind in that specific market. So I'm not showing you something that I'm not fully aware of. So I'm showing this to you to really share with you the opportunities that are possible inside of this particular strategy. But it's all about taking that first step. Even if it feels like a huge leap, I want you to trust the process. I want you to lean in. I want you to lean on what you've learned today. And remember, you don't have to do this alone, okay? We're all in this together. Get out there, my friends. Keep pushing. Keep building. You have totally got this. I can't wait to see what you will accomplish before the end of 2024, my dear friends. Until next time, stay inspired and let's make those real estate dreams a reality. Love you all to the moon. Bye-bye for now.